Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to Moderately Intelligent Discussions with me, Rapitor and JamesWolf.
Hi.
We are going to be talking about a few things. One of them, most of the stuff being in the industry, game industry right now. We're gonna go with TitanFall, right, to start with. Lately, it recently had a tech demo, a very private tech demo that a lot of people, of course, disregard the NDAs or non-disclosure agreements to just not show anything and put videos up on the YouTubes and Daily Motions and all that stuff. And a lot of the game has been getting
basically an extreme closed beta is what it was.
Yeah, a tech test is what, or the technical test is what they called it, just to test their servers for multiplayer and stuff, because they're not, thank the Lord, they're not using anything EA, even though EA is publishing the game. All they're doing is just giving the funding to Respawn. Everything else is, the servers are Microsoft's, they're super powerful Xbox Live dedicated servers, all that cloud stuff, so it will be extremely stable at launch.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah. But the game is 6v6 confirmed, which got quite a bit of flack, because coming from people like Battlefield, which is like 32 versus 32.
Yeah.
So
I come from the world of Halo, where 5-on-5 was the big deal.
Right. And Gears of War, Unreal Tournament. So it all depends on the design. The game is designed for 6v6. It'll work for 6v6. I mean, and it's not going to be just 6v6.
Battlefield.
Because the pilots, the player-controlled pilots, can each summon their own Titan, and you don't have to be in the Titan. It's controlled by AI if you're not in it. So there's 12 people.
It could easily be
and 12
a 12v12 match at any point.
Yeah, so it'll get pretty hectic at times for sure. And if the maps are small enough, 6v6 doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what next thing I was gonna ask is, what are the average map sizes?
There's only been like 3 maps announced, and I think that's all that was in the tech demo. So that might be in the full, I don't know. I would certainly assume they'll add more in the future.
Oh yeah.
But they're all kind of small.
There's always gonna be DLC.
Yeah.
Always gonna be
Yeah.
DLC.
That's another thing with it. The game is incredibly small scale. There's only like 5 or 6 weapons, 3 classes, and that's it. The 3 Titans, and each Titan has like 2 or 3 weapons to choose from, and that's it. So a lot of the flack is because of how small the scale is game. Yes, and that's because the Respawn is it's a new developer. They're very, very small.
New.
They're just people.
This is their first game.
Yeah. Picture, it's gonna be Call of Duty 4. That's what it's gonna be. Everyone remember that game?
Yeah.
That was the best game at the time. But now, it's incredibly tiny in scale compared to the new Call of Duties and Battlefield and all that stuff. It's basically going to be that.
So, considering it's their first game, and they're taking on this is essentially a very ambitious project for a new company.
Definitely.
This is actually looking to be pretty promising.
Yeah. I mean, it'll definitely sell a ton, because it's pretty much going to be the sale game for the Xbox One. Like, I love Forza, but I would like some more games to play. And Titanfall is going to be it, because that one's coming up first. That's also a very good thing that it wasn't a launch title, because then it would be riddled with problems.
Oh yeah, it would. Hey, it would have had to been rushed so hard.
Yeah, a new company doing a
They're
launch
rushing
title.
now as it is.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea. And another thing would be, or the next topic, since Titanfall is pretty good, I think it's gonna be a good game. I haven't played it, but I did watch those leak videos, and it looked like a lot of fun. Basically, picture.
How the graphics look?
Oh, great. I wouldn't say next gen, but basically end of lifespan 360, which it technically is. It is coming out for 360 as well, but I would say a little bit better than the 360, but of course the 360 won't be able to do it fully. Like, I think it's going to be more optimized for the One. Of course, probably better frame rate, probably better stuff in there. And
how much longer is the 360 going to be supported?
I believe Microsoft said they want to support it for another 5 years. I don't see how, but
Hey,
I mean, there's still games coming out
What is
for
it? Hey, Sony kept the PlayStation 2 alive up until the release of the 4.
Yeah, that's right. And that was weird.
Yeah, that was.
But like the thing is, the 360 has such a large online games, the digital database and all that stuff, the Xbox Live Arcade. The One doesn't have that yet.
Yeah.
There's no arcade. It's gonna have one eventually, but right now it's nothing.
Yeah, it's
There's
just a
literally
system.
8 games
Not
on the
much to
system.
it.
Or 8 games for the system, or 12 or something like that. That's it. And Killer Instinct, which is fun, but
So overall, Titanfall looking to be a pretty good game with decent graphics and gonna be a big surprise.
yeah, it's gonna be a big hit for sure. Any Xbox One owner is probably gonna get it.
Yeah. And speaking of the graphics of the game, I think it's a perfect one. We can slide right into the next topic, resolution gates.
Yeah,
That's
Resolution
kind of
Gate.
big in the game
yeah.
market lately.
That's been a lot of pain for Microsoft's PR team because PS4, the system is no secret that it is more powerful than the One, graphics-wise. But what a lot of developers haven't been able to get used to is how the system is not really designed, but what they have access to. Microsoft has allocated like millions of dollars to their servers. So developers can allocate a lot of their CPU and all that tough stuff to the servers, which makes games a lot better. Titanfall,
Yeah.
for example, is going to have a whole AI match, basically, at the same time as your match, which is all handled by their servers. So there's a whole lot going on
Oh.
when you're already shooting people.
Oh yeah.
And
thing I
Forza's
don't get is-
Rapitor system is all the cloud. So a lot of the third
Yeah.
parties are going to suffer because the developers haven't quite figured out how to use it yet. Like the new
Yeah.
game now that is spawning more hate is Tomb Raider, which is running at 30 FPS on the One and 60 on the PS4. And everyone's flipping shit.
30 FPS isn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't long ago when we were playing games online and saying that if we had 20 FPS, we were freaking awesome.
Yeah. And I really
you
do
don't
not
really-
care about
Yeah,
frame
neither do
rate
I,
or
but, like,
resolution.
You really don't notice any clipping in the frame rates until it drops to like 15 or 12 FPS, as we really start to like see frames. Above that, it's still fairly smooth.
The thing is, yeah, the argument is the smoothness, but my argument to that is I don't care if it's 30, 60, 45, as long as it's stable at that. That's what matters.
Yeah.
If it's jumping from 20 to 60 all the time, then you notice it, then it's terrible.
Yeah.
But if it's one
People
constant
say,
frame
oh, yeah,
rate,
we can do
no problem.
60 FPS. But how long can you do 60 FPS?
And 60 FPS, yeah, it looks good. It's super smooth, but a lot of games it looks awkward. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not used to it, because I don't see it very often, but I don't know. 30 FPS is the comfortable for me. Now, people are going to say,
Yeah.
oh, PC Master Race 60 FPS, blah, blah, blah. But for that, I say PC Master Race bullshit. A game is a game, doesn't matter where it is. If it's fun, play it.
Well, the problem is you're not the only ones having this problem of it looking weird. A lot of television companies, like I want to say Samsung, Sylvania, what's the other one that just
Oh yeah, that's true.
TCO
Haven't they
or
been
whatever.
experimenting with like 100, 120 TVs or something like that?
Oh no, they've designed TVs that can actually add frames to whatever the input is. So if this TV sees an object move from here to here in between 2 frames, it'll actually throw in 3 or 4 more frames to increase the smoothness. And what
I
they
think I've
found is
seen
it's
that.
actually
I think my grandparents
so
have that.
smooth and so fluid that the human eye is actually can't keep up with the TV anymore. They've had to design TVs some of the super HD and 3D TVs had been designed with frame rate reducers just to keep them comfortable to watch.
Yeah, I think my grandparents have that. My grandpa has a TV like that, and it's terrible to watch. I can't watch it at all for a long time because it just looks so weird.
Yeah, it's too smooth. The thing is, our eyes are really only meant around 60 FPS is peak for our eyes. Anything above that, we're feeding our eyes more information they can take.
Right. And another argument that they're doing is resolution. Like Call of Duty Ghosts was 720 on the one, while 1080p everywhere else. And to that I say it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not going to say the game looks good. Ghost doesn't really look that spectacular to begin with.
No.
But it doesn't look worse.
Yeah, the thing is, I've done a bunch of experiments because it's an HD monitor, but it's an old HD monitor. And I've tried different monitors. I got a new TV, tried that. I've switched the new TV. I can switch from 1080 to 720. I'm looking between it. I really can't tell a difference.
Right.
Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I have my monitor's not HD. I don't have one. Maybe I'll get one eventually. My video cards support HD, so I'll probably next upgrade is an HD monitor. But I play Metro. It looks fantastic, and it's not really a next-gen game, but it looked really good for its time. And then I play, like, I'm playing Forza on the Xbox, and that looks great too, but I don't know. Resolution doesn't matter to me. Again, game is fun. That's all that matters. Graphical fidelity
game is smooth,
is like a tiny fraction in what makes a good game. Look at Minecraft. It's like 16 by 16 textures. It's like the most popular game in the world right now.
It. But it runs smooth, it's stable, and it's fun.
Right. Because that's what matters. Stability, fun, and gameplay. Which are kind of hand in hand. But story and graphics, well, to me, story doesn't matter much, but it's a pretty big part. But the very, very minimal part for me is graphical fidelity. I'll play anything as long as it's fun.
I like a good story. I have to admit that I love a good story, which is why I'm addicted to Halo.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like a good story too. Like, a lot of people don't really know games that have good stories because of their surface. Halo, people don't expect Halo to have such a big and deep story that it does. It's an entire freaking world. Universe, I should say, actually.
Currently 15 books out, read them all.
15?
No, almost, I've got 10 of them.
Oh my goodness.
Well, 15 is the number. I think there's currently 10 or 11 out right now that I have, and they're officially, like, been announced, publicized. Yes, this book is coming out sometime in the future. There's up to 15 books.
Wow.
And more to continue.
Probably the Halo for Xbox One is gonna add some more story because 343 has some big ambitions from that, they're saying. I don't know what, nobody knows what, but they have some big plans for it.
I would rather see 343 start making games. I can't knock Halo too much. I love the story of Master Chief, but I think we've been focused on there's a lot more in the Halo universe than just Master Chief.
Oh yeah, but that's kind of what they did with 4. I mean, they did Reach, but they did the Spartan 4 program, and Reach dabbled in the other Spartan programs. So they're experimenting around a little bit.
Yeah. We are kind of sliding off a bit. I think we should move on to our next topic.
I mean, Master Chief can only do so much. He's like, what, in his 40s now or some shit?
He's close to retirement age, I believe. Anyways, moving along now.
What is our next
sales
topic?
Sales of the next-gen consoles.
Oh yeah, both consoles I've been doing, I applaud them both. Even though I am an Xbox fan at heart, I applaud Sony because they have sold massive amounts. So much so that they're actually making profits. Which, before when they announced the console and the pricing, they weren't making much big of a profit, which is why they are not really forcing it, but making you, or pushing harder on their PlayStation Plus program. Because much like Xbox Live with Xbox Live, they make a lot of money through that, along with console sales.
Yeah.
Sony only had console sales.
I'm impressed because what was the PlayStation 3? Weren't they losing $300 for every system sold?
Not 300, but they were losing a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that every console was actually a loss. There was no profit in it.
Yeah, it was the same with the 4, but they wanted to keep their price lower than the ones. And well, actually, there was somewhere posted that had all the prices of the hardware pieces. I'll put the link in the video description if I can find it again. But that doesn't include like shipping costs and everything. It was just the prices of the hardware. And even then, Sony had like $15 to spare or something like that.
Huh.
So they were probably losing
I wonder
on each sale.
Well, then you can't just look at parts. You have to include the labor to build the machines.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even if it's all robotics.
Right.
But I almost wonder if Microsoft intentionally prices theirs at a near break-even budget, knowing that Sony's going to want to beat them and force Sony to try and lose money.
It's possible.
Really?
Bark.
Really?
That's fine.
Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, both have sold millions now, which is really surprising considering that, as I said earlier, there's not much to play. Both machines is a one-trick pony right now, a Forza pony or a... what is it? What's Sony's game? The shooter.
There's more than Forza out for the Xbox One right now, isn't there?
Right, there's Rise and Zoo Tycoon and all those other ones and Call of Duty, but like the best exclusive, the biggest exclusive. I mean, Rise is a short game. It's like a 5-hour game and it's a single-player campaign, so it's a one-play game.
There's no big names to it. No big titles.
No, not really. Just Forza, and that's still kind of a niche audience. Not everyone's into car porn.
Yeah.
But Killer Instinct is done surprisingly well for a fighting game as well, because it's fun. A lot of people, even though it's a free game, you can buy it for like $40, which unlocks all the characters, all the stages, and whatnot. And a lot of people have done that. It's on the top selling on the Xbox store, so that's a thing.
Wow, yeah, quite well.
But it is a good fighting game. Like, it has very in-depth tutorial, but I still end up managing.
Yeah. Oh, and you mentioned the hardware breakdowns of both systems.
Yeah.
I forget where it was. I'm gonna have to try and find the link to give it to you. But I believe I found a site where they bought one of each of the new consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox, and I believe the Xbox got like a 5 out of 5 as far as repairability and dependability, because it's made with actual computer parts that you can go out and buy yourself. The hard drive in it is a standard SATA hard drive.
Right.
It has standard RAM cards almost.
Right.
So it's going to be... I see the Xbox being a bit more reliable in the long run simply because it's made with very common parts that everyone knows how to make, and they're not going to screw it up because it's not a custom part.
It's essentially a PC box. It has the same exact architecture and everything. So it'll be very easy to... It's easy to develop for, it's easy to maintain. So much like the 360 and PS3 lifespan, Xbox, although lacking in power by a little bit, is going to come out on top.
Yep.
But these initial sales have kind of leaned in favor of PS4, partly because of Microsoft's piss poor press and early stages of the console, and
yeah, the whole like it's gonna do this and then oh it's not, it's gonna require this, oh it's not.
Yeah,
that kind of threw people for a loop.
You don't like it, don't get it.
I'm waiting for. I'm gonna be waiting a bit to get one.
Yeah, I love mine, worth the money, I think, but no games. But that's expected to launch, so I got what I paid for.
Oh, wait, question: is it back compatible?
No. Neither console is backwards compatibility. Sony are experimenting with a streaming service. Microsoft said they did not want to do streaming as it won't be reliable. But if Sony can get streaming to be reliable and working, feather in their hat for sure.
Yep. The other question: will they be doing on the one what they did with the 360, making some older games available as a download game
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, they do have to be rewritten, essentially, because the one's architecture is radically different from the 360s.
Oh, of course. I mean, they're not going to be cheap to get these, but I think that would be the next best bet or next best thing.
Yeah.
Back compatibility.
Yeah, they'll keep trying to figure something out. The reason they didn't do it in the first place, which a lot of people probably question, is because price. It's expensive to put a box in a box.
Yeah, it's the same as running an emulator on your computer. You have to have a whole nother machine inside of a machine.
Yeah. And emulators, the thing about emulators is they use so much power to emulate. Like a GameCube Wii emulator uses as much, my CPU and GPU meters use quite a bit, like Far Cry levels of power to play a Wii game. I'm like,
Because the thing is, it's not just trying to simulate the software, it's also emulating the hardware. It's programmed to, software in your circuit board in your computer is running same exact way the hard transistors and resistors would in the old console. It's literally an electrical console. The whole console.
That's why the 360...
Stop that.
That's why the 360, even though it did have... Noel, stop.
No, that's sugar.
Okay.
That's the one that barks at dust.
Well, the 360 did have the original Xbox games, but very few, and for a very short time, and they were also very finicky.
Really?
Like, you can't do the dashboard or anything in it when you're in Xbox mode.
Yeah.
But yeah, both sales over millions, doing very well for launch. I expect them to continue to grow as more games come out, and it showed that people want new consoles, which is true. The old generation lasted way too long.
Yeah.
And they want this one to be longer.
Honestly,
so.
how long was the 360 out?
7 years, I want to say.
That's in the gaming industry, as far as like how quick consoles have come and gone. 360 is an old beast. It is.
Actually, well, I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but I think that's kind of stable. I mean, earlier, like Sega Genesis, NES, they came out kind of sporadically, each one. Like Genesis or NES came out, then like Super Nintendo, and then Sega Genesis, and then so they kind of came out in between each other. These are all coming out all at once, other than Nintendo. Nintendo just does whatever the hell they want.
Well, they're Nintendo. They're awesome. They can do that.
Actually, Nintendo's been having, speaking of sales, they've been doing terribly. Both the One and PS4 has surpassed them completely. Yeah, the Wii U has hurt them really hard. I think there was a very leaked rumor, like I don't trust it at all, but they're already experimenting with a new console. It's the codename the Fusion, which it's basically it fuses the DS and the console, so it's like, I don't know. It was just like a screenshot of it and some tech specs. But yeah,
that sounds very like sketchy information.
Yeah, for sure.
However, I think it's all in the timing of the release of the U and also the way they marketed it. Because I've played it. I've been over at Tony's house, played it a bunch of times. It's not really a bad system. It's a really good system.
Oh no, it's not. It's fun as hell.
The game. Oh yeah. I think it was their timing or their marketing was wrong on it.
Their timing, their title lineup, like, it still hasn't gotten many good games. It's gotten a few, like Monster Hunter and Nintendo Land, and let's see, that Super Mario 3D World and all that. Those are all good games, but they're not quite system sellers. Nintendo hasn't realized in America that a game isn't a system seller. In Japan, people will buy a DS for Monster Hunter. Like, that's what they do. But here, you kind of need a little bit more.
Yeah, you need more.
I'm not saying they don't. A lot of people buy their Xbox for Halo, but it's not the same.
Yeah. I would Nintendo does have the Lego series going. The Lego, I think, was keeping them up.
Legos is everybody.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I've played it on the U, and some of the bonus features and little mini games you can do Wii U on the Lego games are rather nice.
Yeah. But the Wii U is more of a... It's definitely a family console. Like the families, parties, and all that stuff. Which, honestly, that's kind of faded away. The family and stuff is on mobile. They're playing Candy Crush and shit.
I refuse to play that game. But yeah, no, the family game system isn't there anymore. Now it's you're either a hardcore gamer or you're on a mobile device.
Yeah, Nintendo needs to learn that. They might jump into mobile. I wouldn't doubt it. They have been in talks with Google for Android stuff, so I would definitely get a Nintendo mobile device.
For a while.
They're the kings of mobile gaming, but not in the sense of the current. Like, mobile phone is quickly coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, Nintendo dominated handheld gaming for a long time, but mobile is quick on its heels.
Yeah. So either Nintendo's gonna have to design a phone, and I cannot wait for the day. Yo, man, I got the latest Nintendo phone.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be pretty awesome.
Or they're gonna start going to just strictly as a game publishing company and publish games on mobile devices.
Maybe they'll do what Sega did and just kind of shit themselves. Poor Sega.
Yeah. But Nintendo phone, I want it.
I'd buy it. Speaking of Candy Crush,
and
they've been doing some pretty shady stuff lately. They want to trademark the words Candy and Saga. Now, the trademark was because they said, and I quote, "We want to protect our IPs." I'm like, Candy's not your IP. It's not your property. It's a tasty treat. Neither is Saga. That's a Viking word for something awesome. So
it's an epic quest, a journey.
Yeah, which Candy Crush Saga is neither.
Yeah. It has pictures of candy.
Might I add that Candy Crush Saga is just a complete reskin of Bejeweled.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, you can't copyright game mechanics and stuff, but I'm not pointing any fingers, but you guys are doing the same shit you're trying to protect. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if they wanted to trademark Candy Crush, because that's kind of their thing.
Yeah, like Candy Crush as a name.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
words
that.
Together.
But the separate words Candy and Saga, why don't they care about Crush either? Is it because that's a soda?
Yeah, why? That's probably exactly why. I guarantee it.
And the thing is,
it
got
approved. Get the trademark for Crush.
That's the problem. It got approved. It's in this 30-day grace period, so people need to protest. I'll put the link to the petition in the video description, so we can stop
totally
that crap.
Clicking that link.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what is it? The approval for Saga is about to happen in a couple days.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe the Congress or patent, whatever place they go to, is like, you're stupid. Go away. Hopefully.
Yeah, but so Candy got approved. Saga's in the process of being approved. But why? I mean, this is gonna affect so many things. How many games are out there that have the word candy in it? One comes to mind, Candyland.
Yeah, I have a game on my phone called Salvo Saga. The Twilight Saga is gonna be...
What are you...
Like, I'm sure there's a lot of games with candy.
Twilight, that's a great point.
Yeah.
The Twilight Saga.
Yeah.
But you can't just take things that already exist and tell them they can no longer exist.
Especially a normal, like, common word. If it was a silly, random word, like Titanfall was trademarked, but that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, who else has heard of the word Titanfall until the game Titanfall came out?
Right. I mean, you could say it, I guess, but it didn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's stop that stupidity.
That's just too much stupid. Let's move on. Get away from the stupid.
Yeah, please. We have enough legal problems in the game industry. We don't need that kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah. Alright, so let's just move on. Microtransactions. That is gaming of the future.
A lot of people are not liking that, though. Forza, a lot of the Xbox One games actually have been suffering from it because originally Forza did fix it. Turn 10 did fix this before I got the game, but originally the Lotus E21, which was one of the most expensive cars in the game, it's at $2 million now. I don't know what it was, but it was around like $50 if you want to buy it with real money. It was $50, and people flip shit over
for one
that.
car.
Yeah.
Okay, that had to have been a typo.
No. I
can understand $5 for a car.
No, it was
I can understand $5 for a car in a game. 50?
And that was the reason for the backlash. That's a lot for a virtual car. Yeah, it's a pretty bamf car, but it's a virtual car. So yeah. Turn 10 fixed that. They lowered the prices and everything. I don't know what it's now, but you can get it in-game. Like, oh, I should add that you could always get the E21 in-game with some grinding. But it was too, quote-unquote, too much grinding, so you basically had to buy it. Which I'm currently grinding up to get the 2 million for the E21. Now, it's a chore. It's a long race grind, but it's an E21. It's like the fastest Grand Prix car ever, so I'm okay with it.
I don't know what the payouts are for winning races in Forza 5, but I have Forza 4, and I'm currently sitting at $500,000. And I probably would be at 5 mil if I wasn't, constantly going out and blowing it on stupid stuff every other day.
It's
like
about
the other day I bought brand new body model, maxed it out. It's an R3 with 900 horsepower. Because I felt like it.
You get about 10k credits a race, and every time you level up, you get 35. So making money really isn't that hard, but that's something they buffed. They basically redid all of the reward system after this backlash of pain. But basically, back to the original point, microtransactions are a must now, basically, for game developers to continue making money. Games now cost a lot to make. If you want to keep the price tag reasonable, which 60 is still kind of heavy, if you want to keep it reasonable at 60, microtransactions kind of need to be there. They kind of already do with DLC. That was their first try, and they're trying to get a little bit more with microtransactions. If it works out well, prices can drop. Microsoft has already been talking about their digital library will cost less than the disc base because they don't have to pay for printing. They don't have to pay for the disc to be made. They don't have to pay for publishing, all their boxes or anything like that. So the games will be cheaper digitally.
How long have microtransactions been out in PC games, in MMOs, where you can pay, a couple bucks here to have this fancy set of clothes?
The argument with that is those games are free. Like, that's the thing. People are angry that you have to pay for the game and then pay again to get stuff. Which is only a problem if you have to pay for microtransactions, which it was in Forza 5 until they fixed it. If you have to pay for microtransactions, it's a problem. If it's just cosmetic stuff or fast unlocks or something like that, do all you want.
Yeah. Like you said, fast unlocks, cosmetics, things that you could get in the game normally, but you want it now. I see microtransactions perfectly acceptable.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if, I believe Ghost already has it, like you can buy camo sets and stuff, or masks for your troop or whatever, your soldiers. I wouldn't be surprised if the next Call of Duty did that too, or TitanFall, maybe it does it, I don't know. Halo probably will do something like that with armor pieces, and I'm perfectly fine with it. If it's cosmetic and doesn't affect my gameplay, or anyone else's gameplay, especially in a PvP environment, if what you buy gives you an advantage, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Or at least, if what you buy, like Advantage, it depends. Can the advantage be gained in the game without money?
Yes. Well, are you talking like you buy a weapon with real money? Like on PlanetSide 2, you can buy a gun with real money, and it's usually better than what you have, or you can get that in-game.
Yeah, can I get that same... Yeah, can I get that same gun in-game? So is it somewhat balanced?
Yeah, that's kind of a slippery slope. Like, that is leaning towards pay to win, but it's still accessible in-game. We want to avoid pay to win as much as possible to keep people happy, basically.
Exactly. That's the whole point I'm trying to make, is like, is the money just an accelerant, or is it the only thing there is?
Yeah.
I'm just talking in circles at this point.
I really want microtransactions to continue and become more prevalent in the game industry, even though people will probably be biting my ass about that comment. I think they're much better than DLC, because DLC is already a little bit of stuff. Like, Call of Duty released a few maps, and that was it. That's not DLC. Well, then again, expansion packs and DLC and microtransactions are all different levels now. DLC is like the small stuff, although some games still do good DLC, like Assassin's Creed 4 has some really big stuff. Most of the Ubisoft games know how to do DLC. They expand the game quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But microtransactions are definitely good, in every sense of the word, if done correctly. If done incorrectly, then problems
they have to walk.
Yeah, it's a tightrope, and the thing is, the game industry is still new at microtransactions. In Korea and MMO market, they've got it down pretty good. Consoles? Never done it. Let's just start trying until it works. Yeah. So give them time. They're learning. It'll be fine.
Wasn't it Microsoft that started it?
Started what? Xbox
Live? Or just DLC in general?
I don't know. I don't know what the first game that had DLC was.
It was something on the it was either the Xbox or the PlayStation 2. I think the PlayStation 2 was just a multiplayer market. I believe the Xbox actually had things to buy.
Well, Xbox had Xbox Live too.
Well, yeah, but they had a market. Whereas I don't think PlayStation did. I could be wrong because I didn't have a PlayStation 2. But I think the PlayStation was just a place to multiplayer, whereas Xbox was multiplayer and a market.
I'm not sure.
I could be wrong.
I know that you could get more stuff. Like, you get another disc and put it in and it installs like a computer's expansion pack, but I don't know. Yeah. That's something to look up. That's your homework for the night, my viewers.
Right. So I think that about covers everything.
Yeah. That covers it for our moderately intelligent rant/discussions on the current times of the game industry. Keep the comments relatively tame. We do know there's going to be some PC Master Race, blah 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 stuff. Just make your points, keep it tame, have fun. See you next time.
Alright.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Next time.